All right. I guess in order to keep it reasonable time for people that have it 9:30 p.m., like me, Michal, and some of the participants, youth participants from Through Others' Eyes. Michal and I would like to start with an opening few words and then get an update on the upcoming school year, what's expected in the upcoming school year. Our head of education, Dikla, will be giving us a briefing how we closed the end of the school year by at the end of June, how we're preparing for the upcoming school year, which is going to start September 1st. And then we're going to discuss the project Through Others' Eyes, which some of you have heard about it, but it's going to be visiting in the New York area and Cincinnati area. So we will meet the students, the participants that have gone through the educational program for the last couple of years, and now they're traveling together. 4 students are traveling together. So some of you might get actually a chance for a physical encounter with them. But we thought that it's good for you to start meeting some of the participants and not just management faces. I always get the question, and it's like we want to see more people from Givat Haviva. So today we will show you more people from Givat Haviva, not just Michal and myself. So Dikla is a leading educator in the organization, and 4 participants, 4 youth participants that will be visiting the United States. So Michal, you want to start with an overview, and then I will also add a few more comments,
Sure.
and
Thank you,
we'll
Mohammad.
take it from there. Thank you very much.
And thank you everyone for joining us. It's really good to see you all. I think that in general, most of you are probably following the news and you know that we're probably facing, I know we say it every Zoom, but we're facing now, I think, like the darkest and most challenging times we had in Israel in the last, let's say, year and a half. I think that the next week or 10 days will be crucial to understand where we're going and what we're going to face. And I also think that we're going to see a pretty substantial fight of like civil society and society as a whole to try to prevent the government from continue the war and maybe expanding the war, but we'll see. So if you want to talk about that maybe later, about what we see around us and the way we read reality, is also something that we'll be happy to do. A lot of you are like talking to me and writing to me, and we have a lot of discussions around how the reality is going to affect Givat Haviva. But I think that in general, and I think it's the most important thing, is that our team is really determined and doing whatever we can to keep on going and keep on working. And actually, I think that since I joined Givat Haviva almost 5 years ago, this was the bit that, and Dikla will say what you think about it later, because she's the professional, but I think it's the busiest summer that we had in Givat Haviva. We had summer camps for Arab youth to study, to learn better Hebrew. We had the opening of the exhibition of Through Others' Eyes, the program that we're going to meet some participants later. We now starting the second cohort of the narrative program for young leaders, and it's going to be the Jewish group. If you remember, that's the program where we have an Arab group and a Jewish group separated, learning deep, like in a deep way, in a very meaningful way about the narrative of the other and about the history of the other group, and only then they will meet. So the second cohort is starting. We have the first cohort of the alumni of the residency program going to Duke University for another residency program there. So a lot is happening, and the campus is really, really busy, something that usually we're not used to. Like usually in August, everything is a bit calm and quiet, and we have time to prepare for next year. I think you'll hear it from Dikla. This time, her team needs to prepare for next year while working very hard on summer programs. So I think that gives us a lot of hope. Like I think the fact that we're lucky enough to meet the majority of Israelis and the majority of Israel who want to live together, who wants to, seek some normality and to seek some of the values we know that we have, and to live by these democratic values, the values of shared society. And I think we see it in the campus all the time, every day. For next year, I think that our main focus is going to be on creating our alumni network, alumni organization. We have tens of thousands of alumni in Israel. They were part of all kind of like Jewish and Arab Share Society programs, and we think we can mobilize them, and we think we can bring them together around this idea of democracy and equality and Jewish and Arab Shared Society, and we think we can have substantial power and influence if we will be able to organize these people who really believe in Givat Haviva's values, and also, went through this meaningful process of being educated by Givat Haviva or in Givat Haviva. So we're very excited about that. I have to say that personally, it was my dream since I joined Givat Haviva, and I waited for it for a long time. And now we're going to make it happen. So I think that's going to be like my main focus for next year. Mohammad.
Okay, thank you, Michal. I'll add a few more things. I mean, first of all, if you come to Givat Haviva, you'll see that during the summer it's even busier than the normal period. And the reason is not just our own activities, but we also rent out the facility for youth movements. The campus is very much wanted by other youth movements that want to use it. So we make it available when we are not in regular use of it. But Dikla and her team will also tell you about some new summer activities that they started initiating, and not just doing programs during the school year. School year in Israel is September 1st until end of June. That's the framework that we usually have. We do not have a Christmas vacation, but we have a 2.5 week vacation in Arab schools, and then we have also vacations in Jewish holidays. It's very hard to find teaching days that are common for Jewish and Arab citizens when you're dealing with multiple educational systems that is based on religious holidays also all the time. Also, we are a partially construction site. We started building the offices of the kibbutz movement, which are moving from Tel Aviv to Givat Haviva campus, which will bring a couple of hundred employees and people that come in every day to Givat Haviva. So that's going to make the campus more vibrant, more traffic. We will be witnessing more traffic during the weekdays. We definitely see this as a good blessing for the organization with the presence of such a movement that will be based on our campus. It also means that our ties with the kibbutzim will probably get stronger because kibbutz representatives will be visiting our campus on regular basis. They'll be doing all of their training activities on campus. Basically, the old days of what Givat Haviva used to be, the training center for the kibbutz movement. And so that component is going to be added, but this time with a brand new building that they're investing lots of millions of investments that will also improve the infrastructure of the campus, whether the technological infrastructure, but also adding some workspace and adding some meeting space and some conference space. So it's a good relationship that is developing with the kibbutz movement. On the programmatic aspect, as Michal said, the next 12 months are going to highlight the alumni activity. I think we're the biggest organization with huge alumni lists. Not all of them we can connect with because it is illegal to, for example, to gather data about children below the age of 18. You can work with them, but you cannot collect their data because of privacy laws. And that means that most of our participants, when they are with us, we cannot really interact with them as part of the alumni. But once they are above 18, well, Jewish kids go to to the army, and we cannot connect with them. So there's a technical difficulty also finding the Jewish participants. And the true time to connect with them is really after university, is after they finish military service. Already few years of disconnect with us. So it's very difficult to gather that information. But as Michal said, we do not have only tens of thousands. I think we have hundreds of thousands of alumni from all of the different programs. And the question is how many tens of thousands we're going to be able to gather over the next year or so. One, we want to gather them so that they can be a show of force for the organization, but we can maybe motivate them to take some action to create a better ecosystem for the organization, realizing that we are going through a very difficult period that is affecting the ecosystem of Jewish Arab relations in Israel. A huge increase in mutual mistrust and mutual fear between Jewish and Arab citizens, almost, as I mentioned in our last meeting, almost three times what the situation was before October 7th. So there is a lot of damage being accumulated, and we need to be creative in the kind of programs that we do. So we are going beyond our comfort zone of inviting 30 more kids to this workshop and 30 more kids to that workshop, and actually focusing more and more on leadership programs. Dikla will discuss this with you, and the goal is to train and work with people that become trainers themselves, or work with people that have multiple impact potential and can affect others immediately. And because the problem with education, until you start seeing results, it's a long process. One of our best programs is a program that we call Children Teaching Children. You start with kids when they are in their seventh grade or eighth grade. You spend 2, 3 years working with them, multiple sessions. This is the program for which we won the UNESCO Prize for Peace Education. So as an educational program, it is one of the best there is in the world. But until you start seeing results, meaning that those kids will show impact on society, you want to wait until they're probably 22, 25, when they start having at least a salary and being able to returning something to society. So that's something like a 10-year investment, and until you start seeing results. And that's why we're going more now into educational programs that target young leaders, teachers, principals of schools, an age group that is not typical to Givat Haviva, but this stems out of the sense of urgency, where we want to see results that try to control the flood of damage to Jewish Arab relations to Israel. Education, as I said, is long-term in its nature, but if you identify strong populations which you can impact, then you might get a faster return on the investment. I also want to add that we finished 2024 with good financial standing, and thanks to people like you. Many other organizations faced severe financial damages, but we managed to keep within the budget, both expenses and income. This year, I can't say we are in the same shape. We need a bit more push from people like you and your friends. It's a much more challenging year, and we need the hardcore supporters to step up their support. This is the time where this time as I said, we lost few that lost hope, which was in a way, some extent expected. But we're not losing hope. We're in this forever. We're not here as a trend. There are some organizations that closed up completely. Some organizations simply exploded from within by tension between their Jewish and Arab staff. We've been managing to keep that relationship working, functioning, and also being efficient, meaning that it's not just about the internal relations between the staff, but managing the mission to the with our target audiences. So that is a solid thing that in addition of being creative in inventing new programs and that are proving to be successful. Michal mentioned a minute ago the residency program. It's a 3-year-old program that is getting tens of applicants that compete for every position that we have open for residency, and now recognized by Duke University as a project that the university wants to be associated with, which gives it a high level of prestige and shows that when you do something, when you do the right project, you also are able to attract additional partners that add both content and prestige. I'm going to stop here just to be efficient with time. It's not, we don't want to be just efficient in programming, but also efficient in time. I'm going to turn it to Dikla to give us her quick update. As I mentioned earlier, Dikla is the head of the education department. And guess what? 2 nights ago, I was in a wedding. And who was the drummer? It was her husband, who's a drummer in a band that was playing in that wedding. And he did an excellent job. So I took a 1-minute video of his performance and I shared it with Dikla. So it was a wonderful, nice thing. So if everyone behaves, I might show you that video at the end.
I
Go
have
ahead,
a picture
Dikla.
of you dancing, Mohammad.
Oops, I'm not going to share it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mohammad and Michal, and good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you all. I'm like, when you were talking, I was thinking about what should I say, because I have so many things to say. I will try to be really, really focused. Just like Michal and Mohammad said, this year and this, especially this summer, we were and we still are very busy. I'm happy. I love being busy doing these activities. During the summer, we're especially working on the Hebrew, spoken Hebrew to our kids. We teach them Hebrew, and it's a lot of work, but I'm really happy doing it. Like you all know, we had 2 years, 2 challenging years. We're still having those years. We're still doing this terrible war, and we were really afraid, thinking how will our programs work. And I'm really, really happy to say now, after 2 challenging years, that everything worked even better than we expected. This year we had about 1,500 students coming, meeting each other, Arab and Jews. And I think we're about the only organization in Israel that this year got together Arabs and Jewish students. Everyone were still afraid to get into this field, but we felt that we are ready, and we had we had a great experience. It wasn't easy, it was challenging, but we felt like we were doing something really, really important and significant. And our research, we had an assessment for all of our programs, and it showed that there was a very, very good impact. So I'll try to focus about 2 or 3 programs for the next year and to conclude this year. So we have, as you know, we have the program called Shared Language, in which Jewish teachers teach Hebrew, spoken Hebrew, to Arab students. This year we had 600 hours from the Ministry of Education in about 50 schools. And even after October 7th,
let me just elaborate a bit. 600 hours. An hour means a teaching hour in once a week for a whole year. So it means at least 35 teaching hours throughout the year. So every week you teach 1 hour in a classroom for the whole school year. That's a teaching hour.
It's a total of about 18,000 students a year, meeting a Jewish teacher for a whole year. And I'm saying the 600 hours from the Ministry of Education because each hour costs a lot of money to the Ministry of Education, and it's a big investment in this program. It means that they really believe in it. And after October 7th, we were afraid. We weren't sure if those teachers will go on and coming into the Arab settlements and villages, and they did. We had only one or two teachers that decided to leave the program. All the rest of them are still with us, and they're doing a great job. And the following year, the Ministry of Education decided to give us 120 more hours, meaning 10 more schools, which is a lot. And now we're building the following year. We recruited more teachers, and we're really, really excited for the next year. Also in the Hebrew field, we had many מועצות, Mohammad, ברכה לי המילה?
Councils, municipal councils.
Municipality, yeah. We had many municipalities that approached us. They wanted us to have these summer camps, Hebrew summer camps for their students during the summer, and we did. And we had some, and we also have in the next vacation, no, בחר לי המילה. חורף, winter, sorry, the winter vacation. So this is the Hebrew field. It got really, really large, and we have a lot of requests from the schools and the Ministry of Education in this field. In addition, this year we had, like I said, 1,400 students meeting each other, and we felt that they really want to meet each other, but they're still really afraid, and everything is really sensitive, and they're all really traumatized. So we've decided that for the next year, instead of just bringing them, for example, we have a program that's called Encounters, that they come to Givat Haviva for 2 days, and they have preparation in the schools. So we've decided to have one more preparation in their school. So they have 2 preparations, and also they have 2 more meetings before they come to sleep over in Givat Haviva. So we basically enlarge the program, so they will have, it will be more a process and not only 2 days, because we feel that they need a little bit slower, step by step. So this year we already have like 10 couples of schools registered, and it's not the end of the summer yet, so I believe that we'll have many more. Also, like Michal and Mohammad said, we have alumni programs for the Through Others' Eyes program that you will meet some of them later on. And we also, for the CTC program, the Children Teaching Children that Mohammad talked about, we're also building an alumni program as well for this year, because we saw that once the students finish the program, they ask, what's next? We want to meet each other. We had 2 years and then we won't see each other again. They're asking to continuity. So we're going to have an alumni program as well in the Children Teaching Children. Would you like me to talk about another program, Michal and Mohammad? I have so many programs in my head. One more before you
One
tell me.
more. Okay.
We also learned this year that there's a gap between the Arab students that are coming to Givat Haviva and the Jewish students. They come there in the same age, both of them 10 to 12 graders. And we've learned that the Jewish students come more prepared. They know how to address, they know how to talk about themselves, they know how to talk about their narratives. And the Arab students, because of many, many reasons, they are more closed, they are more ashamed, they don't really know how to talk about their identity. They're having a really hard time talking about their...
Shy,
What?
not ashamed.
Sorry, shy. They're shy and closed, and they don't know how to talk about their identity, because they are not allowed in many of the schools. They are not allowed to talk about their identity and their narratives and their history. So once they come and meet the Jewish students, they don't really know how to present themselves and to talk about themselves. And there's a really big gap. So we've decided to develop a program. We call it an empowerment program for the Arab students. So they will have like 8 meetings with us, uninational meetings, in which we will teach them how, first of all, they will learn about themselves, about their culture, about their identity, to find out who they are, what they believe in. And afterwards, we will teach them how to present their ideas. And only after this process, they will come to the program, to the encounter program, in which they will meet the Jewish students. We want to empower them. So it's a new program opening September 25. And I think that's it. We have so many things. I have like a carnival in my head because I have so many things I'm trying what to say. So I think
You'll stay with us for the
maybe we can
question.
ask questions afterwards.
We'll stay with us for the question and answer period. So anyone that has a question, please remember it or write it to yourself on a note. We, as promised, we're going to introduce you to some of the student participants. Actually, the ones that are coming to the United States, they are graduates of a program called Through Others' Eyes. Jinan is here with us. Jinan, can you wave so that people will see you? Here's Jinan. Jinan is the lead project coordinator and facilitator, and she's been doing fantastic work. By the way, she's a fascinating photographer herself. She's from a village town called Dalit El Carmel, a Druze town not far from Haifa, and we're very proud to have Jinan with us as a leading staff member in the organization. For how many years, Jinan, you've been with us?
I'm 6 years.
6 years.
In Givat Haviva, yes.
So Jinan has been with us for 6 years, and you will be seeing more and more from Jinan, both in person when you come to visit, but we expect her also to be visiting the United States and introducing some of the programs, and her English is getting better and better all the time. I'm going to turn to Sadie. Sadie is from our New York office. She's head of development in the United States. She's been working with a few people in the room already, in the chat room, on developing the program. Pam is with us here, and she's one of the most active volunteers in this project. But Sadie will introduce the program, and he will introduce the 4 students that we have. I already see Shuli, Yuli, Noor. They're already on. Who else? We have one more person that's supposed to be with us. Maybe I'm not seeing the name. But I didn't mention Lloyd. Lloyd has been also one of the people working with us on setting the program. So I start with really great gratitude for the volunteers that are working with us on the program. And I turn it to you, Sadie, from here.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. So yeah, we're really excited to have the kids come in the beginning of September. They'll be in New York from September 2nd and through the 7th in Westchester and also in New Jersey. And in the follow-up email with the recording of this meeting, we'll also send out the rest of the information for all of the events. But yeah, so they'll be having like a little talk and then the exhibit. So we actually have a lot of their photos from the program that we will be showing and exhibiting at each of the events. So that's just a very quick overview. If you are interested in coming, please let me know. And again, there will be more info with registration links and everything in the follow-up email to this. So yeah, and I think that's kind of it. Lloyd, is there anything else?
Maybe Jinan can, just in 1 minute, if you just say what the program is about.
Yeah.
Can you do that, Jinan?
Program of
The Through Others' Eyes project, not the trip. The trip, we will get to it. Lloyd will speak about
it's
it.
20 Arabs and Jewish teenagers that come to Givat Haviva and learn photography and become friends. They know each other's they know each other and they talk about the situations in Israel and the connecting and the איך אומרים, narratives and the culture of each other and become friends and photography and מציגים תערוכה, exhibition.
They create an exhibition.
Yes, עובדים על תערוכה. And I'm very proud about the relationships that become after the programs. It's truly a beautiful long-term connections between the teenagers. Friendship like Yuli and Sami or Shir and Noor and many others are already a heartwarming success.
Great. So, Sadie, take us to the four stars of the evening.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm not sure if they've decided which order they would like to speak in, but I guess, Yuli, would you like to go first?
Yeah, definitely. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. I'll start with, I guess, introducing myself. My name is Yuli. I'm 18, and I guess I'll first kind of say why I'm here. I'll start off by saying that I'm a person that cares, right? And for my environment, for the people around me, and generally, for the love of my country. It's why I, engaged in this program and some other programs as well, such as, bringing the different layers of Jews, more religious, less religious together, and also this aspect of bring generally Jews and Arabs together. Right? I realized, over the years living in Israel, that there's a big fabric of commonalities actually between the teenagers, but there wasn't really a solution so far to bridge this gap between the cultures. And when I discovered this program, it was actually presented in the class in my school. I immediately knew this is something I want to take part in, right? Because I live in such a close proximity to other Arab villages, but never actually got the chance, to interact with peers my age. Now, a bit from my side on how the program looks like, I guess to dive right into the interesting stuff. We were meeting weekly for the entire year. And every meeting included also discussions, which I believe are a great problem solver at the end of the day. And also photography, right? And the photography was kind of the tool to bring together us and make us feel comfortable through an activity to discuss and make friendships. We also had 2 seminars in Israel, which were a great activity of bonding. Again, of course, to do with photography. I was very happy to explore this, this new skill of photography and having to do it with peers my age. Towards the end of the year, we also had a flight to Germany, which was great. Really kind of concluded the activities we had this year. And at the end, going back to the beginning of why I'm here, I'm here because I care, and I love my country, and I want to see it, grow in a positive way, and that can only be done, in my opinion, if we bring together the teenagers our age, from all sides of the country. Yeah, that's from my side. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, great. And then, so would anyone else like to go volunteer, or could we have Sheer, who I think I saw earlier?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm Shir. I'm living in a town called Koriona, somewhere between Tel Aviv and Haifa. I started taking part in the program through Others' Eyes last year. I heard about it like you did through my school. I thought to myself, I like art. I would like to meet and talk to Palestinian Israeli who unfortunately I have not seen in regular education system in Israel. Sounds really nice, but it wasn't that easy. We started the project a little after the October 7th and the IDF entry to Gaza. From those days, I remember only crazy hate in this country. Despite all the complexity, it was decided that especially in times like this, the future generation deserves an option for dialogue and coexistence, with the understanding that no one will go anywhere else and that we must create as much as possible programs that will bridge the gap between Arabs and Jews, not only this photography project. We began to learn new photography techniques from Jinan that helped us to express ourselves when the words were too difficult. And through working together, going to tours and seminars, a special connection began between us, which I hope will form the basis for interfaith communication, even in times of political instability like that. But none of this would have been possible without the friends of Givat Haviva. So I'm really happy to come to New York and Cincinnati in September, maybe to meet some of you and to spread our values.
Thank you. And then could we have Noor
Well,
speak?
yes. Hello,
Awesome.
everyone. My name is Noor Kadan. I'm from Baka El Garbi. I'm 17 years old. I personally have a lot of hobbies, as well as hiking, drawing, solving puzzles. But my favorite one is actually photography, which I started 3 years ago when I was 15 years old. And to be honest, it was a really um, like fun way to start the photography because I started in by participating in a program called Through Other Eyes. Um, During the program, I actually had the opportunity to not only learn photography but also to meet people from other cultures. For me, it was my first time meeting people from different backgrounds than mine, which is for me, my background is an Muslim and Arab girl, so it was a bit new thing to do um, for me. So yeah, and during the program, I actually met people who were Jewish or were Druze. So it was a really a new experience for me, which made actually learning photography more in a new, unique way, or in a really uh, in a really more interesting way. So yes, okay. So during the program, I actually had so much fun for multiple reasons. One of them were for learning photography, which actually ended up being one of my hobbies in the end. And the other fun part is to actually met people from other backgrounds that like I actually didn't expect myself meeting or even dealing with during my daily life, because um, I actually live in a Arab city, and it was a bit like not very able, like I wasn't able to meet Jewish people every day, so it was a new thing for me. And yeah, that's about my experience. And I'm really excited to visit Cincinnati and New York. Thank you all.
Great, thank you. And I'm not sure if Sami is here. I think not.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, awesome. Oh, okay, it says
I was currently in a situation. There's something that happened in our neighborhood, but I'm here. I've joined, and I'd like to say hello to everyone.
Sami, can you open your camera?
Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Okay,
Okay,
tell us a
hello
little bit
everyone.
about your experience.
Um, and through other eyes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first, hello everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Sami. I'm Sami Asmar from Kfar Kara, an Arab city, almost a town. I'm almost 18 years old. I've been a part of Through Other Eyes, and I'm proud to be one. Through Other Eyes was a program that really affected me in a very positive way because, I mean, I've learned a lot from it. I've gained a new hobby from it, and I met a lot of people from it. Like, for example, I got to know other people from other cultures, learn about them, know how they think, accept their opinions, give my opinions to them, share and express to each other, and it really affected me in a good way. For me, like I love it. I love the idea of it, and I love what the program does. I love what we are getting to, and I hope to continue in the future with it.
Great. Thank you, Sami. Pam and Bob were the ones that suggested the idea to bring them for a tour in the US. You want to say, 60 seconds, what was your idea? And then Lloyd picked up the glove and ran the miles with them to make it real and to make it happen. Then we'll
Okay.
hear from Lloyd as well.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank you very much. Thank you, Pam, and I'm sorry I forgot the name,
Bob
but thank you very
and Lloyd.
much. Thank you very much. Like I really appreciate it. It's gonna be a new experience for me. I am very happy to be part of it, and I hope it will be an exciting experiment.
We're very excited to
Thank
have
you all.
you. Very
Thank you.
excited.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, Pam.
Thank you. I'm just thrilled and excited that this program is happening. And, we've been supporting Givat Haviva and Through Others' Eyes since 2016 and wanted this to happen now. And I think it's very timely, but that wasn't the plan. It's just the plan was because it's such a wonderful program and everyone's vision about bringing young people together from Israeli Arab, Israeli Jewish culture and learning from each other through photography is very profound. And there's a lot of support for the program. We're so excited for you to be coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Lloyd, do you want to add a few things about what's cooking in the New York area for this program?
Yeah, thanks, Mohammed. And I'm so looking forward to hosting all the students and Janan in a few weeks in New York. If anyone lives in the New York area, all of the events are going to be open to everybody. And so if you're around, let us know. We're still working on something for Tuesday night. It'll be somewhere in New Rochelle. Details to follow. Super low key, probably just a barbecue, because the students will be arriving sometime late on Monday, and we want them to sleep and be rested for Wednesday, Thursday, and the rest of the trip. So the highlight of the trip for the students and myself is going to be going to the Yankee game on Saturday. That should be a lot of fun. And sorry to all the Met fans on the call. I apologize. Unfortunately, I mean, luckily the Yankees were in town and the Mets were not. But no, it's going to be fun. And to the students, I said this to Janan when she and I spoke earlier in the week. If there's anything you want to do, please let Janan know. She'll let me know. We want to make sure this is fun for you guys. So if there's something you want to do in New York, please, we'll try to make it happen. So safe travels, and see you all in a few weeks.
Great. Guys, we have 13 minutes before we say goodbye. So we allow this time for free discussion. Said you want to put the slide we prepared? We've prepared for 15 more minutes, but actually we only have 13, not 15 minutes. So we're still on time. Ruth, go ahead. Good to see you, Ruth.
Hi. Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Michal, first of all, before I forget it, I want to thank you for your contribution for our circle of friends of Givat Haviva, as we have had our festivity on the 3rd of July. It was a great event with a lot of people, and they were very interested to hear what is new in Givat Haviva, but also how it goes on in Israel. And therefore, we have had Ofer Waldman, who answered our digital questions. But now I will say we are very happy to see the 4 young people. Noor, your picture we showed in our festivity was very, very impressive for the people, but also the pictures of the other ones. And Julie, your speech was great to hear about you personally. And I want to say you that we are always also preparing an exposition with your photographies, because we are sure that they shows what's so important for Givat Haviva to bring together young people of different cultures. And so I think I can help you. I can only hope that you go on. Then if you compare the pictures which has been taken this year, then you can compare with the older one. We have older one that we showed from Corona pandemic and before. And so you see really the history of Givat Haviva in the eyes of the people and in these pictures. And for me, it's really an art, and it's very important to show, and it's a very good possibility to interest people and also to donate for Givat Haviva. And so we are going to continue our work, and we hope to get some pictures of you also from New York. So I can only say to you, continue your way, and I'm sure we will hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruth. For those that haven't met Ruth before, she's the head of Friends of Givat Haviva in Germany, doing fantastic work. And she's organizing the friends and organizing and helping get donors together with other wonderful board members that we have. You see Donia is here, and I think Friedel is the past chair of Friends of Givat Haviva, and many other wonderful people from Germany. So thank you, Ruth, for speaking on behalf of Friends of Givat Haviva in Germany. I know that you also had some other European participants from Switzerland. We had Ursula, and I think Mark Elaine was there also. So I'm glad you're convening the friends in Europe once in a while. Ken, go ahead. Ken is a board member of Friends of Givat Haviva in the United States. Professor Ken Kushner.
Yeah, and I look forward to meeting the 4 young people. I'm in the Cleveland area, but I'll be coming down to Cincinnati for your exhibit. So if there's anybody on the call that's from the Cincinnati area, if there's anything that I can do to support and assist during that time, please let me know. I do have a question for Dikla. You're doing wonderful work doing bridging the cultures between our Arab and Jewish teachers and exposing young people in schools to the teachers. Are you doing anything, and you're getting increasing support from the Ministry of Education, are you doing anything to influence teacher education, to introduce your initiatives, your projects? What possibilities are there in the education of new teachers?
Okay, thank you. We have a few teacher trainings. We had this year, we had about almost 100 teachers going through our trainings, Arabs and Jewish, of course. And this year, like Mohammad mentioned, for the first time in the last few years, we had the principal program as well. And I'm really glad to say that they came from all over the country and from different villages. We had a Christian, a Muslim, a Jewish, we had a Druze principal. And they come from different sides of the Israeli political map as well. It was really important for them to get to know each other, even though they don't share the same political views. They all together decided that it is really important for them to get to know each other, especially during this really difficult times. And all of them, all the principals that took this program want to continue and have encounters between their teachers and their students as well. And maybe Michal, you can say something about our relationship this year with the Ministry of Education, about the funding. And
Sure. So in a miraculous way, like Anne said, we're getting more support from the Ministry of Education this year and also next year. I think that will be the case. First, in the program of teaching Hebrew that Dikla talked about, that's very important for the ministry, and also to the Ministry of Finance. They're also supporting this program and they want to expand it. For instance, just in this summer camp that we talked about, like the pilot for a summer camp to teach Hebrew, we had a representative of the Ministry of Social Cohesion coming to see the activity, and we're going to have now a meeting with them and the Ministry of Finance to maybe expand the program for next year. I think that they want their principals to be part of our programs. First of all, because there are still a lot of professionals within the ministry that really want this kind of activity, this kind of education, and the basic values that are part of the Israeli law to be represented in the education system. So not everything is political. We also have professionals working in the ministry. And also we are hoping that maybe we'll have a good relationship with the Malag, which is like the Committee for Higher Education.
The Board of Higher Education.
Board of Higher Education, to try to maybe tap into the teaching colleges and education colleges in Israel. But we had 2 meetings with them and a meeting with Bet Berel, which is one of the largest education colleges in Israel. But it's just only the first step, so I don't want to promise anything.
I am sorry to interrupt. I am very sorry. I have to go because there's a situation, as I said, that there is in our neighborhood. There's a building on fire, and the police want my statement. I'm sorry. I would have loved to stay, but I have to go, and I'm very sorry to.
No problem,
No
Sami.
problem.
No problem.
Stay safe.
Be safe.
Thank you very much. See you all.
Take care.
bye, Sami.
Go ahead, Michal. You wanted to add
No,
something?
I'm done.
Okay, you're done. The students, Yuli, Noor, was Shir, you want to add anything?
Yeah, it's going to be a pleasure to meet everyone in the US. Looking forward to share about the program and hopefully inspire some of you to come and see it in person. That's all from my side. Thanks for the opportunity to speak here.
Barbara has her hand up. Barbara had hosted a number of groups from Givat Haviva in Canada. You want to say something about that, Barbara, or anything else?
Sure. I've done that for about a dozen years, and I'm writing some of my Givat Haviva alumni right now as I'm listening to the wonderful work you're doing. Dikla, hello, I'm giving you a hug. Michal, I'm giving you a hug. Okay, and
So
of
nice
course,
to see you,
Mohammad, I'm
Barbara.
giving you a hug. I'm hoping to come to Israel around the time of the World Zionist Congress. I'm a delegate from Hatikva, the most progressive group that is coming. And I love what you're talking about in terms of the alumni. I just wanted to share that one of the alumni from the Heart to Heart program, when it was part of Givat Haviva, came up with the idea at Tel Aviv University because the war interrupted what we have is 20 students coming to Canada each summer to go to summer camp together, 10 Jewish, 10 Palestinian, and I've been a house parent for a dozen years. Anyway, this student said, why can't we do something at Tel Aviv University? And the university thought it was a brilliant idea. the social services department. Anyway, students have been meeting all year, and now 20 students are coming in 2 weeks to Canada. They're going to the same summer camp after the camp program is over in order to be an adult, a young adult program, learning conflict resolution skills. They have to create a shared initiative to take back to the university and then become ambassadors for peace. And I'm hoping to work as volunteers in a number of shared society organizations. I'm really interested in your alumni idea. You know that I've been working on that for 10 years. And every time we get close to a plan, there's a war, right? And so I'm dying to think of a way that we can expand the connection between young people in all sorts of programs who've had the experiences and have the wisdom that adults don't have. So let's see what we can do. I'm anxious to help.
Great. Thank you,
Bye.
Barbara. Michael,
Hi,
you're
there we
muted.
go.
Excellent.
Hi, I'll be brief. I know this is brief. It's a pleasure to be here and to hear from, the leaders and guides and teachers, and certainly the students involved. I'm in New York. I was in Israel like a month ago. And I think I've known of Givat Haviva for a long time. My wife is an Israeli, and that brought me into Israel, 45 years ago, 1977, I think. And I've had my times with Givat Haviva, and always very impressed, but always not quite fully understanding. But I understand more now from our recent talk, Mohammad and Michal, that contact, and something I read from Michal, her speaking in Haaretz. There's something about differences, yet at the center is unity and unification, and it's profound. There's a profundity to it that really is different than a lot of things that take place, about bringing people together. So, I applaud you, and I hear the enthusiasm from the people that participate. So blessings, and, and thank you for connecting me with Jonathan, and, I'll continue dialogue with him.
Excellent.
So
thank you very much,
great
Michael.
work, guys.
Thank you, Michael. Yvette? You're muted, Yvette.
You're on
We
mute.
can't hear you. Yvette,
Yes,
that's good now.
Okay, yeah. Well, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Mohammad and Michal and Dikla and the youngsters for, and Sadie for updates. But I do have a question. Michal, you just said that you still get a lot of funding from the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Finance. This present government, they agree with that? Or are they not really involved? I find it difficult to explain this here. So
Yeah,
maybe you
no, I
can.
totally understand. I have two possible explanations. One is that when you look at the Ministry of Education, is a 70 billion shekels ministry, right? They pay the salaries of all of the teachers in Israel, for instance, okay? So like the 10 million or 7 or 8 million shekels that we're getting from them is something that I don't think the minister himself, is thinking about, right? And you still have, and I'm certainly not going to poke him and say, yeah, you're giving us, like you're contributing to shared society and equality. I'm not going to do that. And still, people who work in the ministry, maybe sometimes for 20 years or 25 years, they are not political figures. They're professionals working within the ministry. The Israeli system is that the minister will change, right? Or, ministers will, you'll have all kind of ministers according to the political situation and the election results, but the professionals within the ministries will keep their jobs, right? And we're working with them, and they're trying to follow the law. And the law says that you're supposed to educate for democracy and just society in Israel, and also then supposed to get equal opportunities within the public system. So that's how we get the funding. And in other areas, for instance, like teaching Hebrew, we get the funding because it, in a way, it can also be sold to the, decision makers as a policy that is about, for instance, economic growth, right? Because more capable people will be able to join universities if they'll know Hebrew, and then they will pay taxes, and then it's good for the state, right? And that's the way you do policy work. I think the way to explain people why we get funding from the state, but still we're not cooperating with the government's current policy or political path, is that basically it's a public system and our tax money is supposed to fund the education for our kids. And that's why if our kids deserves, better education for democracy and equality, and it's also the only way to save Israel, I think it's fair enough that we're getting funding from the taxpayers' money.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So Jonathan Lack is the acting executive director of Friends of Givat Haviva. He's a board member of Friends of Givat Haviva, but is the active executive director on volunteer basis. So thank you, Jonathan, for putting so much energy and time. I give you the right to do the closing.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, and Michal, and the other representatives from Givat Haviva and the students. Are very inspiring and also frustrating at the same time, because I'm seeing 45 people on the call. We should have 45,000 people on the call. And so we have to do it one by one, but my request is to everybody that certainly in the States where I can be more helpful, is we need everybody to reach out to 4 or 5 people to get them on the newsletter of Friends of Givat Haviva, potentially if they're willing to be a candidate to join the board. And also we just added a new page on the Friends of Givat Haviva website for synagogues to be supportive of the work of Friends of Givat Haviva. And so we need to get more Reform, conservative, Reconstructionist, Orthodox synagogues in the U.S. To lend their name to support this works, because lots of people are getting lots of information, good, bad, and ugly, accurate, inaccurate, and now it's very important that people see an institution that they can relate to before they get involved with Givat Haviva, if they're not familiar with it. So we need everybody's help, and one more name on the site, one more synagogue, one more Jewish federation could have a multiplier effect. So I'm on the site. You can reach out to me if anybody ever wants to visit and brainstorm on how you can be more engaged. We'd be very much appreciative. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning for wherever you are. And some of the questions that were in chat are answered directly by Sadie. If you need more answers, more elaboration, you can connect with us. Sadie can connect all of us together. Appreciate your time, and see you probably in a month's time when we have our next session, probably closer to the high holidays, where we will celebrate some time together. Thank you very much.